Surprise! It's a fourth video on how to read. In this video, we consider how to be more intentional about time allocated to reading. By this, I mean that you can make purposeful decisions about how rapidly you wish to comprehend the content based on your initial assessment of the three questions from the earlier videos, which are: first question, why? Why are you reading this text? The purpose of this reading. Second question, how? How is the text structured? How does it logically present information to you, the reader? And the third question, what? What style, what density of technical or other forms of information are used in the text? A strategy that I explained in the previous video might be called targeted reading, which is understanding where in the text you can expect to find the content you need. The strategy in this video builds on targeted reading and might be called adaptive reading speeds, which is understanding how rapidly you can read specific passages and still address the why question, or in other words, still fulfill your purpose for reading the text. With adaptive reading speeds, you intentionally change your rate of progress by adapting to what you are reading and why you are reading it. In practice, you already automatically adapt your reading speed, depending on how difficult the reading material is or how new the concepts are. Your rate of reading will change. This is because in order to comprehend the content that is difficult and new to you, you must work harder and therefore read slower. In contrast, when you read about a topic that is familiar to you in a format that you are comfortable with, your reading will be less hesitant and you can read at a faster clip. Let's now shift our perspective on reading by assuming for the moment that we are focusing on one text passage, but we want to take a closer look at what happens from the angle of various reading speeds. We want to ask, what kind of comprehension might you achieve at the different reading speeds? What quality of understanding might you be able to tackle with different reading speeds in terms of, say, making connections in your mind to other texts that you've read, or say, simply gaining a high-level sense of the outline of the author's argument? One reading speed can be called the deep read. The deep read involves careful, systematic reading during which you make connections and note possible responses to the content, your own responses, as well as other authors' related ideas. The deep read may also involve rereading earlier passages. That's the deep read. A second very quick reading speed would be skimming. Skimming is the rapid scanning of sentence level or even paragraph level ideas, which, as the word descriptively connotes, involves processing content in a relatively hasty, straightforward, and uncomplicated way. When you skim, you will be mostly unconcerned about relating ideas outside of the reading and primarily focused on obtaining an overall sense of what the text is basically about. That's skimming. And third, variable or hybrid reading speed, in between the first two, we'll call speed bumps. Speed bumps, like those you encounter on roads, modulate or adjust your rate of progress and are located where you are expected to take note of your surroundings by slowing down. In the case of reading, this can be useful when what you need to get out of the text is scattered, and the intervening content is what you might consider of the nice to know variety. Put another way, some parts you can read quicker or even skim because they are less pertinent to you. And the parts you need to pay greater attention to are the speed bumps, where you need to slow down and read more carefully, maybe in a deep read mode. That's speed bumps. These three adaptive reading speeds can be used as a means to calibrate the depth and detail at which you intend to understand what you read. To recap, the three strategies are: 1, the deep read, which involves meticulous, detailed attention to a text, and may include engagement on multiple levels of meaning and their connections with other ideas. 2, skimming, which is the quick scanning for overall meaning at a high level. And 3, speed bumps, which is a variable in-between approach that slows your rate of reading for important passages and speeds up while reading other passages that are not as crucial to your purpose. Paying attention to and adapting your reading speeds by strategically deciding what texts you will carefully consider, say, with the deep read, and what other texts are less crucial to you in detail, but about which you still wish to gain a bit of familiarity, say with skimming, are two important ways to consider how you are allocating your time on reading assignments. And you will probably find that some texts, maybe most, don't require solely careful, time-intensive reading or solely quick cursory reading, but may more usefully and practically call for the hybrid speed bumps approach. Note that effectively using adaptive reading speeds takes planning and practice. Even though you automatically change your reading speed, consciously taking control of this aspect of your reading means that you will need to think in advance about the text and what you hope to gain from it. This disciplined approach to reading can pay off by allowing you to spend quality time with the readings that matter most to you, while gaining useful familiarity with other texts that you are responsible for also understanding. Thanks for watching this video about how to read using adaptive reading speeds.